You're looking for an ice maker that won't quit on you during the rush, that fits into the flow of your kitchen or bar without becoming a constant headache, and that actually earns the dollars you spend on it. Nobody wants a shiny gadget that looks good on paper but ends up demanding a mechanic every week or taking up space you could use for something else. That anxiety is real, especially if you've been burned by a smaller unit that choked on demand or a commercial model that required a whole new plumbing layout you didn't anticipate. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's talk about the Manitowoc Indigo NXT series half-cube style, the 30-inch model that promises 516 pounds of dice-size ice every 24 hours. At first glance, the numbers can feel abstract, but when you translate them into a busy service environment, the picture becomes clearer. Imagine a downtown gastropub that serves 250 drinks during a Saturday night happy hour. Roughly 1.5 pounds of ice per minute is enough to keep a steady stream of rocks, cubes and crushed ice flowing without the bartender having to run back to the walk-in every few minutes. For a hotel banquet serving a 3-course dinner to 300 guests, that same output can keep the beverage stations stocked and the salad bars chilled all night long. The first thing I noticed when I dug into the user manuals and a handful of forum threads was how the unit is built for the kind of routine you see in a commercial back-of-house, not a home kitchen. The exterior is a thick steel shell that can take a few bumps, and the waterline connections are the standard commercial inch fittings. That means you'll need a dedicated water supply and a drain line that can handle a steady flow of melt water. If you're setting this up in a retrofit space, make sure you have the plumbing clearance. The unit itself is about 30 inches wide, 31 inches deep and a little over 55 inches tall, so you'll need a solid floor that can support roughly 250 pounds once it's full of ice. It isn't a plug-and-play appliance you can just drop on a countertop, but once the hookups are done, the machine settles into a quiet, almost background presence. What makes the Indigo NXT stand out in daily use is the easy-touch multilingual display. It's a small touchscreen that lets you set the production schedule in 10-minute increments, choose the ice size, and even switch languages if you have a multicultural crew. In practice, that means you can program the unit to ramp up production an hour before a big event and dial it back during slower periods, saving water and energy without you having to think about it. The programmable schedule is especially handy for catering trucks that know they'll be at a festival from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You set the machine to start churning ice an hour before you pull up, and it's ready when you open the doors. Smart diagnostics is another practical benefit. The unit runs self-checks every few hours and flashes a simple code if something needs attention, like a clogged water filter or a frost buildup issue. Instead of guessing why the ice output has dropped, you get a clear message on the display. That reduces the need for a service call and cuts down on unexpected downtime, which is a big part of why commercial operators value Manitowoc's reputation. The cleaning cycle is also automated. You press a button, the machine runs a short hot water rinse, and then it's ready to go. No need to disassemble the bin and scrub it by hand every week. Now for the trade-offs. The biggest one is simply size and cost. This is a commercial-grade machine, and you're paying for that durability and output. Small coffee shops, boutique bakeries, or home users who just want a reliable supply of ice for a few drinks a day will likely find the purchase price and the installation requirements hard to justify. The unit also produces a low-level hum as the compressor works, which is typical for high-capacity machines but can be noticeable if you place it right next to a dining area. Some users have mentioned that the noise level isn't a problem when the unit is tucked behind a service wall, but it's something to think about if your kitchen is an open concept. Another practical consideration is the water consumption. To make 516 pounds of ice, you're pulling a significant amount of water through the system, which translates into a higher utility bill compared to a smaller countertop model. That's why the programmable schedule matters. By turning the machine down during off hours, you can keep that cost in check. Also, because it's a half-cube style, the ice pieces are slightly smaller than the full cube models you see in big hotels, which can be a plus for cocktails that need quick chilling, but it might not be ideal if you need large cubes for certain drinks like an old-fashioned. Think about the type of ice your menu calls for before you settle on a half cube.